I have here a Ram 3500 Cummins, and I wanted to know how much I could tow with it. You know, it's got the factory hitch. I was looking for some kind of stamping. Usually they have a stamp or some kind of sticker. You know, and I didn't really see anything. So I'm trying to figure out how much can I tow with this hitch. I took a look under here and I was like, oh, that hitch doesn't look very heavy duty. You know, it's, I don't know, what is that? 3/8 steel. So 3/8 steel bent tube. You know, that looks more like a class 3 more than the class 5 hitch. But then it's got the 2.5-inch receiver. So that means it's a class 5 for sure. And a class 5 hitch is 2,000 pounds tongue load and 18,000 pound trailer. So I was like, oh, okay. And it's a 1-ton, so they must have put a hitch on there that's pretty stout. I was pulling a trailer with it, and the trailer was pretty heavy. Trailer was 17,000 pounds, and I had about 1,000 pounds of tongue load on it. So this isn't the original position. I modified it a bit. So that's the original position. You know, and you come and look at that, you know how that's hanging down like that. You know, it could be just my receiver is like that. I think Reese has a receiver where it sucks it in a bit, but yeah, there's not a whole lot in there. There's like 3 inches of the receiver hitch inside there, just holding that 1,000 pounds. So went on about 10 trips, 10 heavy loads, at least 15 to 17,000 pounds. And so far the hitch hasn't broke or anything like that, but I've been trying to keep it light on the tongue load. So I bring a little bit load ahead, and then I start seeing the bumper going like this. You know, the bumper starts bending down and sitting like that, and then I'm getting worried. I'm like, oh, is the back of the truck gonna fall off? So I modified my pintle hitch a bit here. I drilled another hole a little bit farther back so it goes into the hitch a bit farther, and it's not leaning down, and it's not putting more down force on the back of the hitch like it wants to break it off. And I had to cut a little bit out of the support there, but it's just a little triangle. It's not going to be holding that much anyway. And the new position of the hitch is a lot better. You know, it's not sticking out 3 inches farther back, and it's more inside the hitch tube. You know, like it's all the way up to about right there. So less of a chance of it I don't know, like breaking off on the front here. There's more steel inside the hitch to, you know, be more part of the hitch, I guess. But anyway, it's not just hanging out by 2 inches in there. So I was trying to find out any kind of info online about the Dodge factory hitches. You know, any kind of specs. If it says, you know, like 1,000 pounds tongue load and 10,000 pound maximum trailer weight, that would seem more reasonable. But it has a 2.5-inch receiver, so it's got to be a class 5. I mean, it's a pretty stout hitch. I see it like flexing when there's a lot of weight on it. And it connects to the truck different than a normal style hitch. Like on my F350, you know, you have the straight bar, and then you have a metal plate that goes up onto the frame here, up onto the frame there, and then that carries the load, and it's not just right at the very end of the frame rail here. Like the frame is only an 1/8-inch steel, you know, 1/8-inch steel. Maybe it's like got a crazy amount of tensile strength and flexes and stuff, most likely, but it's only an 1/8-inch steel, and the hitch is tied right at the back here. You know, there's 1, 2, 3 bolts holding the hitch on, and the bumper. So the bumper and the hitch is held on by 3 bolts on both sides. So, you know, and it's not even a closed channel. It's got some round steel in there to keep it from squishing as you tighten the bolt up. But really that hitch is only held on by 3 bolts, and the hitch has a big groove cut out of it. So it's like a C at the back that the bumper and the hitch slide on as one. So you just take those 3 bolts out, you slide the hitch off, slide whichever one back on, I guess. So it's not the typical type of hitch mounting. The hitch is hanging on just to the very back, you know, 8 inches of the frame rail. Instead of having the load spread out like here and here, like on a regular style hitch where it has the plate on the side. I don't know why they did that. Maybe because they have the hanger for the suspension in the way, but I'm sure there could have been, you know, somebody could have put a plate there. They're probably just trying to save steel, I don't know. But anyway, I'll show you on my F350 what a class 5 hitch normally looks like. So here's the hitch on my F350. This one has an extended bed on it. That's why it has this bit of steel here, so it's not really on there as it would normally on a truck. Normally this hitch would be back farther behind the shackle there. But you see the big plate on the side, you know, that spreads out the load. And this one isn't even like I would consider a heavy duty one. The heavy duty ones, they go up flat on the side of the frame rails, you know, and then bolt in on the sides and bolt in on the bottom. And then that's what I think of when I think of a class 5 hitch. I mean this one I have welded on there. It's not going anywhere, but when it was new, it just bolted on there. But look at the size of that, you know, steel. That's 3 inch square tubing. You know, look at the big welds on the edges. You know, like that's what I think of when I think of a class 5 hitch. You know, and then this one, you know, for sure 2,000 pounds tongue load and 18,000 pounds trailer. And then we're back to the Dodge here, the 2.5 inch bent 3/8 tubing, you know, just fastened to the very end of the frame rail. I don't know, like it hasn't broke off yet. Like I've towed with it, like I said, 17,000 pound trailer, maybe even a little bit more than that. And you know, it's hanging in there, you know. It's got that spacer in there, that's why it's loose like that. But I definitely have less confidence in it than I do with the hitch that's on my F350 there. The hitch on the F350, I'd be confident to pull a 30-foot trailer with 2 10,000 pound skid steers on it with that hitch. This one, maybe 1 skid steer on a tandem axle trailer is what I feel safe pulling with it. Like the trailer I'm pulling here, it's a triple axle. Everyday use, like a tandem axle 14,000 pound trailer. I don't think you ever have a problem with this hitch. But going heavier, something's gonna break eventually. It's gonna like jiggle loose off the back of the frame or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Couldn't find any info on this hitch. I went to Ram. It says go to Ram Trucks, go to Ram Builds, and then it doesn't have any rating for this hitch. So I'm just guessing. So hopefully that helps out somebody. I couldn't find any info on it. I'm going to keep looking, and if I find something, I'll give an update. I did some more searching on Google, and in conclusion, I believe that Ram designed these hitches to go with their trucks, and Ram will give you the spec, what the truck can tow, and they designed the hitch to handle that spec that they say the truck can handle towing. So how much more above that spec, I don't know how much more above these hitches can handle. In my opinion, it'll work fine just for average medium towing. If you're doing any really heavy duty towing with it, I would upgrade the hitch because it's probably going to fall off the back of the frame rail. That's what I think.